Hello everybody, welcome back to another news video on the channel. Now we'll be looking at some big topics today. Just an extended news show I thought I'd do. There's been a lot of news recently. First we'll be looking at HOJLUND to Madrid. We'll be looking at some few other transfers, Tapsoba, Frimpong. We'll be talking about Anthony Martial, who's going to be leaving as a free agent, Luke Shaw, injury concern, and the latest on that. Now, thanks for the support recently. Just continue to like the video, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos. I mean, this is going to be quite a big news show. We'll be diving deep into some big topics. So stay tuned. As I said, leave a like, comment, and yeah, get involved with the channel. But let's get straight into it. I thought I'd start talking about the striker situation now. It's been rumours for a couple of months now that Martial's contract extension at Manchester United will not be happening now. I've done a few videos on Martial, but it's coming out again today that the Manchester United camp do not plan to extend his contract, leaving him as a free agent in June. Allows him to explore options with many other clubs. I mean, he'll probably get a best move, and Manchester United will be losing out on 50 million. As the song goes, 50 million down the drain, it probably is. I mean, if you look at the summer and you look at the time that he's been at Manchester United, it hasn't been great at all. I don't think he's completed 90 minutes in such a long time, maybe in 1 or 2 seasons. His injury concerns have just increased too much to a point where he can't be playing regularly. And that caused the issue for Manchester United. Yes, he's had some great moments. I think his partnership with Rashford has been fantastic over the years. And we know he's a great player on his day, but he's just too injury prone. And that's a huge concern for me. I think when you have a player like Anthony Martial, who, as I said, he's still entering his prime years. I mean, he joined us when he was 19. I think he's about 27, 28 now. So he has still got a few years in him. Obviously, he is aging. But where he decides to go will be very fascinating. I mean, which clubs will really be in for him? He's quite injury prone. I mean, his agent will probably be doing everything he can to get a move. Saudi might be on the cards. So we don't know what's going to happen there. But certainly Anthony Martial is a player who had a lot of potential at Manchester United. And you look at the relationship over the years that he's had with the strikers. I mean, there was issues with Ibrahimovic regarding numbers. He always wanted to be the starting striker, which kind of let out with the fallout with the manager. Again, with Cavani as well, Ronaldo didn't really get his preferred position, played out the left, which I probably think he's better as a left player, cutting inside. But obviously, we've always had Rashford since Martial's been here, so it just probably wasn't the right time for him at Manchester United. There's no doubt, as I said, he's a player with the great qualities, and his attributes are certainly there. But we didn't see those attributes enough, and that is a huge problem. And when you're not getting the maximum output of a player who you spent so much money on and invested a lot of money, it does cause them to be sold. Now, this means with Martial going, as we know, we definitely need to bring in a striker, and which striker that may be. I mean, Tony's on the cards. He'll probably go for a lot of money. I think we kind of need that sort of profile, but I don't think we can't spend 80 million on Tony and then 72 million on HOJLUND. It just wouldn't work out. Obviously, Seru Garasai, who's a player in the Bundesliga, I think he's second now for the most goals in Bundesliga this season. I think he's got 17. Obviously, Harry Kane number 1. Obviously, Harry Kane's off the cards. I mean, Son you might be able to go for. I mean, there's a lot of strikers out there. You can go with Benjamin Sesko. He's another player, but I think he's just moved. But I think HOJLUND's definitely a player who Manchester United are looking to lead the line, which I will talk about in a moment. Benzema as well. Obviously, he's towards the end of his career now. I think he's 37. Players found it difficult to adapt at Saudi, and is potentially looking to leave and move to a new club. So he could be someone on the cards that Manchester United look out for. I mean, Benzema's a top-class player. We know his quality. He's Ballon d'Or winner, numerous Champions League winner, scoring clutch goals for Real Madrid when they need him to. A fantastic player all round, a great mentality player, scored loads of goals. He'd be a great player to have, but I don't know if the wages will be too high. I think he's on 86 million a year, which is outrageous money. So I don't think Manchester United will probably go for that deal. So let's move on to Rasmus HOJLUND. Still sticking on the striker situation now. It's coming in from, I think it's a Madrid source, that Real Madrid scouts, Florentino Perez has sent some Real Madrid scouts to look at Rasmus HOJLUND as an option, as a plan B option if they do not sign Kylian Mbappe or Haaland now. Obviously, Real Madrid attract all the top-class players. You look at the players that have been there over the years. Bellingham, Ronaldo. Don't need to name more names, just those two. They've had some great players over the years. Obviously, there's been talks about Garnacho choosing Real Madrid over Barca. I hope none of our players go, because I think HOJLUND, Garnacho should be at Manchester United for the next 10-15 years. And the fact that Real Madrid are looking at him shows the potential that he's already having. At such an impact at 21 years of age is absolutely fantastic. I think he's a great player. And he is instrumental to this Manchester United side. I mean, a great goal. Or instinct strikers finish against Villa, score some big goals. And yeah, I think he's a great player to have. Now, Real Madrid, looking at him, I don't think there's much in this, to be honest. I think Real Madrid, as I said, every summer they line up their options. Looking most likely they're going to sign Kylian Mbappe anyway. Because he's the most likely player to go to Madrid. And that leaves an option to obviously Rashford potentially going PSG. Done a video on that already. But it will be a very, very interesting summer with loads of players moving around, big players moving around as well. I mean, even if the fact that they're talking about HOJLUND to Real Madrid after winning the treble with Manchester City, scoring the goals that he's scoring, it does seem very intriguing. I think anything can happen. You look at Mo Salah, Klopp leaving, that could be something that would happen. So they're not even talking about Manchester United. There's loads of avenues that could open for Manchester United to potentially sign some players. And that's something that we would like to see. I mean, you look at HOJLUND, he hasn't got someone who, over the last years, Manchester United have had two quality strikers, going back to even before I was born in 1990s. I've always seen, well, I haven't seen, I've watched past games with Manchester United. I've had two top quality strikers, Andy Cole, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York. So always top quality strikers. Now, over the years, we've kind of had Asian strikers. Strikers who are aging, getting older, and you're not really being brought in to fit the system. You look at, particularly when I started watching football, United had the likes of Radamel Falcao, Ibrahimovic was slowly coming in, Igalo, we've had Ronaldo, Weghorst. And with HOJLUND, we've looked like we've bought a young striker someone who will look to be at the club, as I said, for 10-15 years. He's a player with mass potential, and I think his market value hopefully should rise. I think 70 million. He's probably not worth that now. He's probably edging 50. I think after a few games, should be rising up. I think he's a great player. And he hasn't really got that partner yet. Obviously, Martial's out injured with that groin injury. Obviously, Rashford can play there, but he's not really experience as a striker. He's played there in games. Yeah, maybe Rasmus HOJLUND does need that little boost, elder player like a Benzema who more experienced a lot, will help him learn. We've seen our young players talk about the effect that Ronaldo had on them when he came in, the ultimate professional. I mean, Luke Shaw talked about him in that interview that he did with Sky Sports. So there's a lot of players who may need that elder player to come in. I mean, our striking department is quite young. You look at HOJLUND, 21. Yes, Rashford's 25, but Garnacho, 19. Ahmad, I think he's 19. Anthony, yes, he's not been the greatest, but he's still 22, 23. So we have got a very, very young attacking department, and that's whether Manchester United or Ineos maybe identify an elder option who will come in, a more experienced option, just to help us develop into a position we don't know. But ultimately, I do think it'd be preferable to have an older option. Who will help us experience and give us experience and give us moments that we need. I think Benzema's a great option to have, but as I said, it's just all about the wages. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, Edmund Tapsoba and Jeremy Frimpong. Now, that news was coming from Samuel Lucas, who's chief writer of Manchester Evening News, and is credible. I mean, I think he does get sources from Manchester United. Now, Tapsoba, and first I'll talk about Tapsoba now. He's a centre-back who's very comfortable with playing all positions. I mean, nowadays, you see people preferring which centre-back position they want to play. But he can play central if he needs to in a free. He can play left and right very, very comfortably. I believe he's a left-footed player. He's a great physical player. I haven't seen too much of him, but he's someone who likes to win duels, great on the ball. You can probably get him for about 40 to 50 million. And Manchester United are in need of a centre-back. Now, there's been many options who've been out. I mean, Jared Banthwaite's someone who's on the cards. Obviously, Tapsoba to Debo. Inacio at Sporting. So there's very big options there that Manchester United may look to buy. But I think Tapsoba, probably to Debo, Inacio, I think they're No, Inacho and definitely to deep. Inacho and Tapsoba, I'm pretty sure, are left-footed. Definitely Inacho anyway, so could be someone who you can bring in as a backup for Martinez. I mean, it's looking increasingly likely that Lindelof as well will be leaving, which is something that I will talk about as well. But with Lindelof leaving, we probably do need another centre-back anyway. It's looking like Maguire will probably stay now. I think he's doing well, to be fair to him. But I think we do need Varane's not getting any younger. The injuries are starting to increase, so we do need big players who will help us, especially in that centre-back department. I mean, Erik ten Hag does love a particular profile. He's a manager who loves playing out from the back, and the centre-back defenders are really instrumental to that. You look at some of the roles that he's given to certain players, and actually changing their game. Delo as well, a big player in that, but I think Tapsoba could be someone Manchester United look at now. Jeremy Frimpong's another option. Obviously, we know he's been at Celtic, Manchester City. I know a bit more about him. I mean, Tapsoba's a player. Frimpong's a player who's a very aggressive right back. Can play left back as well. Very skillful. Can put loads of crosses. I think he got an assist. He's getting an assist this season. He's very young. And he will definitely be an object for Manchester United to buy. Well, not object, an option, sorry, for Manchester United to buy now. I think him and Delo are quite similar ages, so whether that would work out. But as I said, healthy competition you need. You need two top quality positions. You've seen what Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Delo did. I think Delo's winning that race at the minute. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's injured. But Frimpong and Delo working together, I think, will be important. I think that could be an option. Obviously, there's many right backs as well that Manchester United are looking at. I mean, if you want to look towards the summer, which I'll probably do a separate video on, but the options that Manchester United need to sign, or the position Manchester United need to sign, in my opinion, are probably a forward, a centre-back, and a right-back. I think the three key positions. You can probably get another midfielder in there as well, but maybe a winger. But you need maybe someone who can play across all front three, but you need a lot of options. And maybe Frimpong can probably play higher up as well, but I think that's all I was going to talk about today. It's been a bit of an extended news show. If there's any topics you want me to discuss, leave a like in the comment section, and yeah, I'll try and do that. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the 6 p.m. video. We'll be delving into some other topics as well. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed. We talked about some interesting topics today. HOJLUND to Madrid. Let me know whether you think that will happen. Lindelof situation, the defensive situation, what do you think about that? The Martial situation. But thanks for watching, and peace.